Well, before handing over the ropes of the conversation to Vishal, I'm going to talk about him. Vishal is a certified financial planner, co-founder and CEO of Plan Ahead Wealth Advisors, a SEBI-registered investment advisory firm that works very closely with resident and NRI investors to help them achieve life goals by helping families add meaning to finances, add time to life. I think that's a very, very beautiful concept. And Plan Ahead, if we talk about, won the Best Investment Advisor for 4 consecutive years in the Outlook Money Awards, and so many more to go. And Vishal has been a recipient of, an award from Money Quotient as well, one of the leading life planning coaching firms globally in the year 2013. Well, Vishal, if you're all set, where are you? You're right here. I knew it was you. Vishal, come up. Please grace the stage.
So I'm here. I was just telling someone that it's so long since I got onto a physical stage that I wasn't sure whether I'm supposed to put my hand up, smile with a smiley, or put on a real smile. But let me just get straight to the topic. We have 15 minutes. I'm going to talk about innovation client servicing with just one concept. This actually came out of a client example. I'm sure you all deal with clients all the time. We deal with consistently 2 people in a family, the client and his spouse, and therefore all of these conversations always tend to happen jointly. This was a recent conversation that came up where the client told us that, I'm not really enjoying my job. Lots of people tell us that, right? All the time, and especially in the COVID world, more and more people are becoming aware that they're not necessarily enjoying what they're doing in their jobs. And of course, he has a full friend circle where lots of people have become entrepreneurs, just like many of us in this room are, or maybe all of us in the room are. And he was like, I think it's time for me to try my hand at a business. For everyone who's married, you know what the spouse said, right? Exactly the opposite. So we said, okay, so how do we solve this? We have no skills to solve problems between husband and wife. I'm married as well. I've never been able to crack that code. So I'm sure we can't crack it for our clients as well. So we said, okay, let's try to solve this in a slightly different manner. Let's build a model on how you can actually solve this. If you look at your life today, you typically find that a lot of us focus on the financial aspect of our clients' lives. But there are many, many other areas that are important to our clients. What may be important for us may be different from what's important to our clients. So if you just look at this, maybe it's a little difficult to see right out there, but typically this is what is called a wheel of life. So it's got finances on one side, but it's also got family, it's got health, it's got leisure, it's got learning, it's got inner growth, it's got a home, it's got community, it's got work. So one part of the client's life is finances. Another part of the client's life is everything else. And therefore the question is, if you got your client and his spouse to actually document of this kind, what was going to be the outcome that came out of there? In much the same way, you have tools available. All of these are licensed tools. We use them by paying a license fee. A life transition survey, which allows you to think forward saying, okay, what are the things that are going to happen in our life? And many of those things are going to have implications on our finances. Okay, for example, just in your work-life transitions, you could be setting up a business, you could be wanting to retire, you could be going through a job change, you might have lost your job. There are so many things that can happen just on work life. And imagine your personal life, imagine your financial life, imagine your succession. I mean, there are so many transitions that you'll go through, and many of them will have money implications with them. So what did we say? We put out a question to the husband and the wife saying that, okay, all is good, right? Today you have no problem on your job. Maybe you're not enjoying it so much, but tell me, if there was no problem of money, what exactly would you do? Describe the life that is truly yours. Okay, this is George Kinder. For any of y'all who would want to Google it, it's available online. These were the answers that came through. I want to travel more. I want to buy another car. I want to buy a 3-bedroom apartment. I want to send my kid overseas to study. And I want to work for satisfaction, not money. Okay, in this laundry list of things that the client wanted to do, and his spouse, interestingly, work for satisfaction, not money was number 5. And I said, okay, so here's probably the answer that y'all are seeking. You want to travel more. Entrepreneurs have a pretty miserable life, at least at the start. They got to do everything, right? Very, very hard for you to go out there and say that, oh, you know what, I can actually solve everything by sitting remotely on a beach in Goa, or with a network connection sitting in the hills of Kasoli, and we will still be able to give you great customer service. It's hard to do it at the beginning. It's going to take you 5-10 years to be able to reach that point where you can say that this works really well for me. Buy another car, sure, your company could buy it for you, or you could buy it yourself. Maybe if you're an entrepreneur, you'll get some tax breaks on it. Buy a 3-bedroom apartment. Do you need to take a loan for that? Maybe. If I need to take a loan for this, as a new entrepreneur, it's not going to be easy to get a loan. I want to send my kids overseas to study. How old are they? 16 and 13. Just a few years to go. Really, do you really think that you want to set up your business, or is it just something that you want to do because everyone else is doing it? And that's what the answer came from. And that's where the answer came to. And both of them, luckily, agreed with me that it makes sense for him to continue his job. What I have a pact with them for doing is saying that, okay, going forward, we will go back to this bucket list item. We don't want you to forever curse us saying that it's because of Plan Ahead or Vishal Dhawan that you never became an entrepreneur. Because we'll all look back at our lives at 60, 65, whatever age, and say, what is the things that I didn't do when I was wanting to do them? And maybe this will be one of them. So we'll come back to that. Or the day you change your priorities and tell me that, you know what, I want to work for satisfaction, not for money, is my number one priority. So what if my kids don't go overseas to study? So what if I have a smaller home? So what if I can't travel? If that's what is important to you, so be it. So this is how we were able to solve this. Now, how did this happen? This didn't happen with any spreadsheet. If you notice those 3 documents that were in there, not a single one had any numbers on them. They were just qualitative. So what we've discussed and discovered is that life planning is actually the answer for most of our client families. That's where the solution and the innovation comes from. So what exactly is this? It's actually a process. This is not about sitting down with a client and saying, you know what, let's discuss your future life. No one's going to do that with you. They're going to come out there and say, okay, show me the process. It needs to be such that people they know that at the end of this process, there is a very scientific thing that you're going to do. And what you're trying to get is real answers to real questions. You don't want to go into a meeting and say, what age do you want to retire? Everyone gives you an answer saying 58, 60, 65, or if you're young, they say like before 40, right? But if you're able to answer more important questions and help people get the real answers, I think they value your advice very, very significantly. You also need to understand what motivates clients. There could be another client who would come in right here and say, you know what, I really don't care about money. For me, work satisfaction is everything. And the client's wife could actually come in there and say, you know what, my husband being satisfied with the work that he does is the most important thing for me. And all of a sudden, the same tools could give you a completely different answer, saying we've got to go in over there and actually do a business, become an entrepreneur. So what if it's going to be tough for 5 years, 10 years? We're going to make it happen. And of course, this is a framework that helps you make decisions, right? Some of these decisions are financial. Some of these decisions are about how you manage your time. At the end of the day, for everyone who comes into the world, there are 2 resources that they need to be very focused on: time and money. Very often, all our conversations are focused around money and not enough on time. And therefore, a lot of these conversations focus on those aspects as well. It's also important to be comfortable to talk on non-financial topics. This is not really about what do you think is going to be the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war on your retirement plan. We're not really talking that at all. This will come in at some point later. At the start, the whole thing is about getting your clients to open up, to be able to make conversation which is much deeper. It's also about how you look at priorities. If you noticed priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, very often clients don't know this until you put it into a structure because they just make a laundry list. You have to force them to prioritize saying that what's most important, what's second most important. In fact, I urge everyone in this room to do this for themselves, saying that if you list down all the priorities in your personal life, in your business, you might come to very different answers from what you do if you were to just make a laundry list and say, you know what, ops doesn't work well in my system. I think I need to improve technology in my business. I think I need to improve my communication skills. Maybe I need to improve my market knowledge. I think making a laundry list has limited value until you prioritize. And very often, how we can make our clients prioritize and how we help them to prioritize makes a big difference. We also need to go out and set meaningful goals. What I mean by meaningful goals is clients need to connect with what you're saying. Very few clients connect with, I want to retire at 60. I think they just believe that they are going to retire at 60 anyway. Sometimes they're unlucky, they retire at 50. They don't want to, but they retire at 50. Sometimes they're retiring at 60 because everyone around them tells them that we're going to retire at 60. But I think if you help them set meaningful goals, tell them that, okay, so you want to be an entrepreneur, right? I'm going to help you get there, but let's get over these 3 hurdles first. Let's send your kids overseas to study. We'll get you to be an entrepreneur after that. And lastly, make the right choices. And your clients have to make the right choice. You cannot make the right choice for your clients. This is very, very important because very often, as an entrepreneur, I might go into a meeting saying that, you know what, entrepreneurship is fantastic. See what it does for you. See the amount of opportunity it gives you. I think everyone in this room should be thinking that they wish they were 20 years younger because the opportunity in the industry that we are is so huge and so immense that you just wish that you were 25 years old today. I'm certainly not. So for everyone who's 25, great luck. So let's just try to summarize this for you, right? We always think it's about the why. It's not about the what. It's not about the when. Most people go in saying, what goals do you want to plan for? Retirement? When do you want to plan for? 2058, because I will be 65 at that time. Actually, that's not the answer. The question is, why do you want to retire? What are you going to do with your time in retirement? Have you thought about that? Those are the questions that actually make clients connect to their goals rather than the spreadsheet which says, I'm going to retire in 2058 at XYZ and I need 3 crores of a corpus to support a lifestyle. So ultimately, as advisors, our view is, and it doesn't matter whether we are RIAs, whether we are MFDs, it just doesn't matter. I think the way we look at it is, there are 4 roles that we play in a client's life. One is that we help them with their financial capital, and all of us know that. And that's about security, right? It's everyone coming in there saying that I want a secure future. And they can have their own definition of what is secure because they will have their own numbers in their mind, they'll have their own lifestyle, they'll have all of those things. This is something that I think all of us do really, really well. But in addition to financial capital, it's about human capital. When I come into this world, I come in with a certain potential that I can achieve. Are you helping your clients achieve their true potential? Or are you telling them, you know what, I helped you retire at 40, I've done a great job. You can't stop there. When the client retires at 40, now you got to make him think about what are you going to do when you retire at 40? Are you going to give back? This country needs education. Are you going to go back and help make people more literate? What exactly are you going to do? How are you going to spend your time? Don't tell me that you're going to play golf for like 50 years. It's not going to happen. You also have to help them have some fun. There is fulfillment capital, people work hard, they need to spend their money. Help them buy the nice car that they want to buy. Help them go on the holiday that they want to go to. These are all very, very important things as well, because if you don't do that, what we found is very often there will be pushback and they will actually go out and do some very stupid thing with their spending, which will actually hurt you very badly. And lastly, I call this probably the most important role of an advisor. Help build shared capital. We are in an industry and a place where we can actually give back, and this is our greatest chance to sit with our clients and create and co-create things together, so that there's a huge chance for them to go back from this world saying that I fulfilled this and I've left a legacy. So ultimately, get yourself life planning because it helps you guide conversations. People aren't going to talk markets with you. They aren't going to talk about the war because you don't know anything about that. Only Mr. Putin knows that. Hopefully, even he knows that. It allows you to take a 360-degree view. You remember your wheel of life? It's all coming in there. It really shows that you care for your clients because when you have these conversations, it's beyond just the numbers. And last but not the least, this is about differentiating what you bring to the table. Ultimately, innovation and differentiation are very, very closely linked. And we believe that life planning can truly differentiate the service proposition that you bring to your clients. Thank you.